Hi, it's that time of year again. If you live in the United States, it's that time of year where we start to send our kids back to school, and we teachers go back to school as well. And this affects all of us. It affects parents, it affects students, it affects teachers, which is pretty much everybody. So what can we do to help alleviate some of the stress and anxiety that we are all naturally feeling now? You know, the time of autumn and school beginning for me has always represented a time of rebirth and renewal, a time to reflect back on my goals and reflect back on how well I've taken care of myself and my family, and turn over a new leaf, so to speak. Autumnal leaves, that's kind of funny. And so I've compiled a list of, let me take a look at my list, 6 things that you can do, that you can share with your children, you can share with your students, you can do yourselves. 6 easy things that you can incorporate into your daily or weekly self-care practice to help you manage the stress of going back to school a little better. So what's the first thing? The first thing that you can do, which I like to do, is proven very effective, is a daily meditation. So I like to start my day and end my day with a simple meditation. And it doesn't have to be a long 20-minute, half-hour, whatever practice. It could be a simple 2 to 5 minute meditative practice where you close your eyes and you focus inward on your breath and try to clear your mind. It reduces stress and anxiety, improves concentration, increases focus, lowers your blood pressure, reduces pain, strengthens your immune system, and improves your self-esteem. And for me, it also relaxes my brain and quiets my brain enough where I can actually hear my inner knowing and listen to my heart. And 9 times out of 10, I come out with some sort of creative solution to a problem, or I get inspired to create art or to write something. Something creative and inspirational always comes out of it for me. The second thing that you can do is to ask yourselves these 4 questions every day. What is my purpose today? What will I do today that will bring me joy? What am I grateful for? And what did I do for myself? And these questions focus ourselves in on self-care. They focus ourselves in on the joy and what activities we can do in our lives that bring us happiness and meaning and joy. And it helps us not only be aware of those things, but practice them and do them more. It gives us purpose and helps us focus on our goals. And gratitude always makes us feel more connected and more positive about things and a little bit less distracted by the negative things that we complain about. And I know we all complain. There's a myriad of things we can complain about. But instead of complaining about the sink full of dirty dishes, why don't we be grateful? Why aren't we grateful for the meals that we ate or the abundance of food that we're able to share with our loved ones and our family members? And by being aware of the stories behind the food that we ate that created the dirty dishes, we're grateful for the abundance in our lives and not negatively complaining about the task that we have in cleaning the dishes. So there's always a way to spin it so that we can see what truly brings us meaning and makes us feel grateful. The third thing is to keep a journal. And I've been keeping journals since 1983. They are sometimes just a rant over things that I'm upset of. Sometimes it's just a list of things that have happened since the last time I journaled. It could be about processing things that happened. I write about things that I'm upset about, and it helps me process trauma, process anxiety, process how I feel about things. It gives us clarity, helps us heal, helps us set goals, increases our positive sense of self, increases clarity, reduces emotional stress. And I think that there's unlimited, untold benefits of journaling. The next thing is practicing a calming hobby. So the calming hobby could be journaling. For me, it's writing. I like to write articles. I write for Thrive Global and for Elephant Journal and my own blog, What's Up Marcy. I create art. You see paintings behind me. I write books. I draw just for my own heck of it. A calming hobby could be streaming a movie you love on Netflix, or for me, it's watching Gilmore Girls endlessly, or sharing something funny on TV with your loved ones, the people you live with. These things are calming and make us feel better. Number 5 would be practicing grounding techniques and incorporating them into your daily routine. These can help refocus anxious energy, calm the nervous system, and takes us back into our bodies. When we're anxious and nervous and upset, we have all this energy going on in our heads. I know for me, it feels like I have like a hamster wheel going on in my head, and that's no good for anybody, endlessly spinning. But anything that forces you or enables you to get back into your body and feel your senses is a good thing. You can go back to nature, go take a walk outside, take a walk around the block, go to the beach, take off your shoes and stick your feet in the sand, or stick your feet in the water, or stick your feet in the grass in your backyard. Anything that makes you connected with nature and puts you back in your body. You can do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 exercise. Name 5 things you see, 4 things you hear, 3 things you touch, 2 things you smell, and 1 thing you taste. And that helps you focus on your senses and get back into your body. You can do things like deep breathing, focusing in and out, focusing on the breath as it moves in and out of your lungs. How about mindful eating and drinking of some comfort food or drink, something that tastes delicious and makes you feel comforted, and gives you that brain dopamine release. Comfort food is a wonderful thing. Just try not to overindulge and become an emotional eater. I've had to fight that for a very long time. Like I said, take a walk. You could also take a shower or a bath. That is definitely sensory and clears the mind. There's a healing power of water. Watch or listen to some comedy and laugh. Share that laughter with other people. Make a list of things you're grateful for. You can do the counting game and count things that you see outside. Like if you can't get out into nature or you live in a city, look out your window and count people, count taxi cabs, count stop signs, count trees, count billboards, count puppy dogs, count anything that you can see going by. Just the act of focusing on something outside of yourself and the repetition of counting is easy and free and calming. Sounds ridiculous, but it works. Then, of course, there's exercise. If you're actually physically moving your body, you're in your body. You're lifting weights, you're doing yoga, you're doing Pilates, you're doing some sort of cardio, you're running, you're walking, whatever. Simple stretching could be somatic stretching, could be, just dancing or moving around to some music in your room or your house or wherever you are, even outside. And the act of putting yourself into your body through the movement is going to get you out of your anxious head. And then there's also call a friend or a loved one. Connection is everything. Connection is the story of our lives. So stay connected with family and friends. This is number 6. Stay connected with family or friends. Make phone calls, send text messages, use FaceTime, use Zoom. We have tons of technological advances at our disposal, and all of them can help us stay connected. Having somebody to talk to, share your day, ask and receive for support is immeasurably helpful. It's important to be non-judgmental when we listen, even non-judgmental of ourselves when we're speaking and we're listening to ourselves. Offer support, offer advice without attachment to that advice. Advice is just advice. It's your opinion about what someone else should do with their lives. It isn't a law. So if you give advice to someone and they don't take the advice, don't get offended. It just didn't jive with them. They didn't feel a vibe with that and they want to do something else. They have personal agency. They can go do what they want. Don't be offended by someone not taking your advice. Trust me. That's an important one. Validate the other person's feelings, make them feel seen, make them feel heard, make yourself feel seen and heard. You can do this through journaling. You can video yourself venting and then play it back for yourself. There's a little trick that we learned from the TV show Grace and Frankie, and it works. It sounds ridiculous, but it works. The idea is to help the person articulate what's going on in their heads, to get that crazy hamster wheel to unwind and slow down so you can articulate what's going on in your head and express it. and ask them to vocalize the story they're telling in their head. A lot of times what we think we are perceiving is different from reality. So we may in our head say, the story I'm telling myself is that I feel such and such, or you feel such and such, or, you were offended by what I said, or whatever the narrative is. But when you articulate what it is, what the story that you're telling yourself is, I would say 80% of the time, the story that we're telling ourselves does not match what the reality is. No matter how self-aware and attuned and empathic we are, our own personal mishigas, our own personal internal makeup changes our perception of the story that we're seeing or the narrative that we're seeing. And our own insecurities and our own anxieties help write that story that's in our heads. So I hope these 6 things helped, incorporate 1 or 2 of them at a time, see how they feel, use the list, don't use the list. It's advice. I'm not attached to it. I practice all of these, not at the same time, because then I wouldn't have time for anything else, but I take a little piece and a little piece and a little piece, and I incorporate them throughout the days, the weeks, the months, the hours of my life. So I hope this helped. I wish you all a successful school year. I hope you all are motivated and inspired by curiosity to learn, and patient and kind for yourself with all of these difficulties, especially in the climate that we're in now with COVID and Delta variant and everything that's going on. That's creating more havoc than normal in our school year and in our lives. So be kind to yourselves, be kind to those you love, and I'll see you here. If you have any questions, DM me through Instagram at MarcyBrockman27, and I'll answer your questions on a future video or a special segment on the Permission to Heal podcast. Enjoy your day.